Hello Capricorn, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. A Princess of Pentacles. To me, this feels like the beginning of an adventure, right? This is kind of a beginning state, the raw materials of something, okay? I think you're somebody who is maybe preparing for a quest. Sometimes this card is about investing. This is what we're going to invest our time, effort, energy, and maybe money into, with the belief that it is going to bear fruit. This is kind of like that really dry, barren, frozen kind of spot in the backyard that we say, that's where I'm going to put the garden. That's where I'm going to do it. You know, and we have this faith, we have this confidence. We start off maybe without a lot of confidence. Maybe we start out even with not a lot of belief, no plan at all, but this a faith, you know, that this is going to work. This is where I'm going to apply my energies, and something good will come of this. So I feel like this is us kind of preparing to set out on an adventure, preparing for the quest. All right, let's put this card into a little bit of context. I find that you're a very resourceful sign, Capricorn. And there, look at that. Now the garden is growing. We're putting in the work. Okay. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Art or Temperance card. We have the Empress card. Very good. And we have the Death card. Wow. You're surrounded by divine energies. Major card. Major, major, major. You're surrounded by spiritual energy right now. Okay. Guiding you, protecting your work. Okay. And it's kind of your responsibility to just surrender to it. Your response to the call to action here is to surrender and not fight against this process, because this is what is really needed in your life right now. We have a Queen of Swords. We have the Chariot. We have a Three of Cups. We have the Magician. Holy smokes. Yeah, this is really good. Let's select the Mystery card, Bonus card, Confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot, the Factor Infinite and Unknown. We're going to set it over here with Mr. Ed, the little horse, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments. Okay? Now, as we look around the room, we see obviously major, 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 major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana energies. We don't see any fire. We see water, air, and earth. Okay, water, air, and earth. I don't feel like this is a situation where you are necessarily, I feel like you didn't just decide one day that, hey, I'm going to do this, you know, and then we used our fire energy, our will, our intention. We said, I'm going to start climbing the mountain, you know. I think that it's something that was sort of thrust upon you, okay. It was something that was brought about by an ordeal. Okay, because we have the Temperance card in the background here. I feel as if this was the pressure cooker. This was a situation for you that was very challenging. And it may have felt like this situation was going on for a long time. And I don't know exactly what it was, but it was very difficult for you. It was very challenging. Okay, and it was a situation that was sort of molding you and changing you. The longer you endured it, the different you became, right? It really changed you. And I think that this was Spirit's way of preparing you spiritually for the quest that you're on now. This was a difficult situation where we sort of, I think we begin to realize that Spirit's preparing me for something. That something is being set up in your life. And now it could be that we've gotten out of this situation and we're sort of here in the forest with all of these raw materials, and we're thinking, okay, now it's just, Spirit has put me here. Now it's my obligation to build. Okay, so we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is that card of patience. It is the card of kind of paying attention to details and going through the routine and just kind of taking things one day at a time. Not really, we're not so worried about anything. We're not overthinking anything. I feel like we're doing it. We're in the flow. We're in the process of something, and we're refining our work over and over again. This could be a path of spiritual development for you. This could be it could be career development, right? It could be a development of a relationship. Okay, whatever this garden is that you are that you're tending to, I feel like it was sort of, you were placed there by Spirit, by the universe, and said, this is your duty, this is your job. And here you are, kind of you're not complaining, you're just doing it. Yeah. The Eight of Pentacles is the card of routine. It's a card of refinement through repetition of something. It's a card of just kind of patiently tending to the garden. Okay? And we need patience, especially when we have the Death card in the future, because the Death card is the slow and gradual progress. It's the nature of nature. It is change. Okay? We're surrendering to the divine forces, and we're allowing the long-term development of ourselves and of our lives, our personality and our personal reality. We're allowing everything to evolve in its due time by focusing on just like the day-to-day, just focusing on the work at hand. You want the garden, you want a paradise, right? You want your best life. This is the Empress. The Empress, I should say, is also the evolution of the Princess of Pentacles. This card is always, eventually, at some point, going to become the Empress. Okay? It evolves into it. So this is the barren, sterile landscape. This is now its lush garden, its paradise, it's the oasis, right? And we realize that to go from a Princess of Pentacles to the Empress, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. We've got to tend the garden every day, diligently, and without too much complaint. And things will evolve in their natural course, and we will arrive at that paradise. This is your Big Rock Candy Mountain, okay? This is really, truly amazing. And I feel that the Hanged Man is this idea of surrendering to the divine, surrendering to the cosmic will, really, right? We're not fighting against our being placed in this situation and being told this is your job. Okay. Now, I don't think anybody's kind of forcing you to do the work. But I feel like Spirit has placed you in a situation and said, this is the work for you right now. And this is us accepting that, surrendering to that divine energy and doing the work that's in front of us now. The spiritual work, the inner work. Okay. It could be that the Temperance card was an external situation that has maybe revealed to you where you need to do the most of your internal work, where we need to face our fears, where we need to grow, where we need to sort of branch out and expand, where we need to pay more attention, that sort of thing. Okay? We're tending our internal garden here. Yeah. And of course, the internal garden, what we grow inside is going to show outside of us. And we have that Chariot card. Okay? But the surrendering is us sort of diving down inside of ourselves and realizing what needs to be cultivated in us. Maybe there's some weeds. Maybe we got to clear the soil first. Maybe we have to then sort of, dig up the dirt, prepare it, plant the seeds, water it, nurture it, tend to it every day, and let it grow. Get rid of the weeds that are threatening to sort of choke out the tomatoes or something, and really cultivate these things. So I feel like you've been summoned to an adventure here, and this is something that we've accepted. right? I don't think it's anything that you sort of woke up one day and said, hey, you know what I want to do? I want to go on this adventure and I want to climb this mountain. No, I think that in some way Spirit has placed you here. And we have, and I think through a very challenging situation, you've come to the realization that Spirit is urging you to move in a particular direction, and you didn't ignore the call. Okay, the Hanged Man has pretty much answered the call and has accepted the role right away. Yeah. Because we don't see a lot of confusing air energies. You know, we see clarity. We see an objective sort of view here with the Queen of Swords. But the Death card in the future position is that card of change. It's the nature of nature. It's slow and steady progress going forward. Nothing happens overnight. But I feel like the sooner we accept the call to adventure, the sooner we answer the call, the sooner we respond to the summons, the sooner this process can get started. Okay? And so maybe this is a little bit of a red alert here. Maybe the Temperance card is saying, hey, you're in a situation now where we really need to accept that this is Spirit trying to get your attention and saying there's work we need to do. Okay. And the Death card is, life is steadily moving forward. All we really have is this moment. Okay, so we don't have to have the fear that, it's too late. Sometimes we don't receive the call to adventure until we're really, really old anyway, There is, there's a lot of preparation that has to go into life, a lot of things that we have to struggle through, a lot of ordeals of life before we, and the thing is, these sorts of summons, these calls to adventure happen repeatedly throughout our lives. Okay? And I wonder if this was the same kind of thing. What got us into this was a call to adventure. Okay? And maybe this was more of the internal development. Maybe now we're focusing on some external things. Okay? So it could be that way for you. I think you have to determine from which angle you want to view this. But the patience that we need is because it's a long-term process. This is something that, is going to require a lot of commitment. Okay, it's our life. It's our personality and our personal reality. It's going to have a lot of different facets to it. Okay, and it's going to be kind of a lifelong thing. Change never ceases. Okay, we're never going to find just absolute perfect contentment. It doesn't exist. There is no perfect 10, right? There's always something that we need to be doing, something we need to learn, or some way in which we can grow or keep building something. Time marches on, as they say. And so the Death card is, it's about us realizing that, we are this infinite moment, this infinite present, the eternal here and now, that's always here, and it's forever moving forward. Okay, we're always in motion. Even when we think we're standing still, something is in motion. And sometimes the Hanged Man feels like, I'm not doing anything, right? And that's what leads me to think maybe this is some inner work for you. Because the Hanged Man externally is not busy doing anything. But internally, there is a lot going on. Okay? And so sometimes we kind of feel that if I'm not showing any kind of external progress, if I'm not doing anything overt and anything sort of obvious or tangible or physical, that I'm not making any progress at all, but the work is continuing inside. I feel like this is more of the internal garden than anything. Okay? But what we're doing is cultivating ourselves, and cultivating, I feel like, the life around us as well. So I think we're untying knots of karma. We are trying to operate from a place of abundance. We are trying to do the self-care. We're trying to be nurturing and loving to ourselves, and continue on a very healthy path. Okay, the Empress is somebody who is sort of giving and giving and giving, right? Devoted to something, feeding something with its own blood, sweat, and tears. Okay. And so it really is the kind of, it's the sacrifices, right? Both of these cards are really about sacrifice. I feel that we have to, we're always required to do our best and to give the best of ourselves to something. Okay? That's kind of what life demands very often. It doesn't matter what this is really about, if this is internal or external, or if it's some special project or whatever. The idea is that you're going to give the very best parts of yourself to it, and that will reward you. Okay? I think if we don't give the very best of ourselves, we're going to be disappointed in the results of our work. Yeah. Let's talk about the path of the serpent. I think all of this is to say that you're becoming the magician. Spirit is cultivating in you this magical ability to create yourself and create your world. Okay. Now, we have down here the Queen of Swords. This is an objective viewpoint. You're somebody that doesn't get so caught up in your emotions right now. I feel like you have a little bit of a stoic energy, I think. You try to separate yourself from your feelings. You acknowledge your feelings, but you don't operate from a pure identification. If you're identified with the feeling, you can't really see it for what it is. So this card is rising above the water, right? We're in the clouds. So we're looking at the water. We're acknowledging our feelings, but we're not immersed in that water and identified with it, because then we can't really see it, right? If you're underwater, you can't really see the water, right? But when you're up top and looking down, you can see it. You can see the waves. You can see how things are flowing. You can see the currents, right? You can see the little fishies. And so I feel like you have a very healthy relationship with your emotions right now, and you're able to look at them and feel them and assess them and converse with them in a way, gain knowledge from them, but you're not being overwhelmed by them. And I think that's really, maybe that's part of the internal cultivation, is having a better relationship with our emotions. Yeah. In the environment, in the position of your relationships, you have the Chariot card. I feel like you're part of a family. I feel like part of your external work is related to the home. I don't know if you're buying a home, moving homes, or trying to sort of like repair the home or fix the home in some way, because I feel like there's something regarding the family thing that needs fixing. Could be like literally the house needs fixing, or there's a dynamic between family members that needs a little bit of fortification. Okay, so I feel like that is really part of your goal right now. This could be your chosen family, it could be work family, it could be friends, right, that feel like family, or it could literally be your blood family. But I feel that you're trying to, in some way, repair the relationships there. Okay. Now, in the difficult position here, this is the challenge. That's the fear, worry, concern. That's the Three of Cups. It's a card of abundance, right? It's kind of like we're worried that we're never going to have we're never going to feel the connection and the bond between our family members. And it could be that you're estranged from family, or there's maybe one particular family member. They might be a Cancer person. The Cancer energy is your opposite sign. Now, I don't want to get too woo-woo or too technical here, but the Cancer energy, the Chariot, is Cancer. And your opposite sign is Cancer. So what we could really be feeling with this Cancer energy here in your environment is that it's not so much we feel a separation from like a literal family member, but we feel a separation from that other unconscious side of ourselves. So if we're looking at this from the internal perspective, it could be that we're trying to unify our shadow in a way. We're trying to unify this alter ego. We're trying to become a more well-rounded and whole person. Okay, so there could be elements of ourself that we're trying to reconcile and integrate. Okay, and this could be that impulse to have friends and family and to feel secure and to have all this, because the Capricorn energy maybe on the surface is that lone mountain goat, whereas this is the card of family and togetherness and being part of a tribe, being part of a community, right? Having something that we are, sort of loyal to and devoted to, something that we're responsible for, something that we support and it supports us, which then also resonates with our Empress. So, it's that feeling of security with the Chariot card. Yeah. And in contrast to the lone mountain goat, maybe we're trying to sort of realize that, hey, you know what, it's that time in my life where I want to find the family. I want to find my people. I want to find that safety and security of a neighborhood, of a community, of a group, of a maybe we're really, we're kind of being initiated into a group. Okay. It could be a group of carpenters, could be a union, right, of bakers or something, right? But I feel like we're sort of being brought into contact with a new society in a way, right? And maybe that's what we sort of have here. Maybe this was a test, this was a trial period in your life, and now you've been initiated into this group, and we're trying to figure out how to grow and cultivate those relationships. Okay, I feel like this is an initiation for you into something that does involve other people as a whole, not individuals necessarily, but people, in the more kind of the more abstract sense. But the Three of Cups is the worry that we're not going to really feel comfortable here, that we're not going to fit in, that we're not going to be appreciated, or that we're not going to form any personal bonds with anybody. Because I feel like that's what we're looking for right now. We've been initiated into this group, and we're really hoping that I fit in. I really want to be part of this, and I really want to find a way to connect with everybody and to feel like I belong. I really want to integrate myself with this. Because this Three of Cups is a card of celebration, it's a card of abundance, it's a card of family, it's a card of connections and bonds between people and personal relationships. Healthy and loving, personal relationships. It's a card of gratitude. And I think that, this is our worry. And, what we see with the Magician is that we're getting better at making transitions. It could be that you've been the mountain goat, now you're coming in and you're being you're being the family of crabs, right? A school, I guess it's a school of crabs. Maybe this is a school thing, I don't know. But the Magician is able to adapt. We have been lone mountain goat for so long, and we've been tested by every ordeal in the universe, and we're a little rough around the edges maybe, and we may feel that we don't always get along with everybody in the house. You take an outside cat, you bring it in the house, it's going to be an adjustment period, right? But the Magician is the one that can adjust. We can change our shape to fit into the new situation. Doesn't mean we're losing our authenticity, because this is just the mask. And if I change my shape, if I change my persona, I'm not changing my essence. The essence is the Sun card. This is the costume that we wear. So I feel that this is our willingness to sort of adapt to fit in and sort of learn the new way and learn the ropes and get used to things and sort of ease into it and start to acclimate. You know what I mean? That we're able to stretch and mold ourselves a little bit so that we can function in this new group thing, new family thing, or this new area, and we can really reap all the rewards of it. We can have all the benefits of this thing. Okay, so we have to be willing to adapt and adjust our own perception, but our own behaviors as well. Okay, let's look at the mystery card. Yeah. Maybe another Empress, maybe a Six of Cups. That'd be right on the money. Would be a Six of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Let's see. The Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands feels like the initiation. It feels like this is now, as much as I said, like this isn't our volition. We didn't wake up one day and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna seek out this new vocation or this new career or this new group or this new club or whatever. I'm gonna build a new society. I'm gonna build some new relationships. No, I feel like we've been sort of we've been dumped into this situation through a lot of challenges, a lot of trials and tribulations. But now that we're here, Ace of Wands says we got to step up and we've got to focus on this and we've got to do what we have to do to build this into a paradise. Yeah. So I think that this is kind of the beginning of that, the beginning of this process for you. That you've heard the call and you're responding to the summons. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading if you want to stick around. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Capricorn Thursday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.